This week on the Droids, we talk about the John Boyega profile, Mando coming back October 30th. Oh, hot Yoda, you get us going. We're having all of that and so much more on This Week on the Droids. Welcome back to the Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast. Pleased to be with Ryan, Sam, and Chris on this edition of the show. Really, there's more to talk about than we expected coming into this edition of the podcast, with a lot happening in the Star Wars universe, some news within new content, new things coming out, but also some news with John Boyega. We'll talk about all of that. But before we do, all of us were deeply saddened by the loss of Chadwick Boseman. When we all heard about that, there was a long text string among us about his performances, his impact, who he was individually on screen and off screen, the impact he had in his community, the impact he had worldwide, and what he meant to so many people, not just for his role as Black Panther, but certainly what that role did mean. To lose him this early at this age with the battle that he fought for 4 years while not even telling people outside of his family what was going on, I think all of us were just taken aback and had to take a moment. I mean, I know I spent the weekend watching films that he'd been in, appreciating his performances, and watching interviews he'd done and learning more about who he was as a person. And I think we've all felt the great loss in this spot as film goers, as movie fans, and as fans of his, to no longer have him with us and creating the incredible work that he did on and off the screen.
Yeah, it was incredibly heartbreaking to hear. And, he was an amazing actor, and like you, Mike, I kind of went and watched more interviews with him. He seemed to be a very private person, obviously, but he was always like so incredibly eloquent and like a serious person in interviews, but incredibly engaging. And there was specifically an interview he gave about kids who had terminal illnesses that were waiting to see Black Panther, which of course now has a very heartbreaking kind of shadow over it. But he, by all accounts, he was an incredibly kind and amazing person. And he, he had obviously much too short of a career. But his impact on history is fully cemented. I mean, not just for Black Panther, but I mean, that movie, and we'll see this for years to come. It was an incredible cultural moment, and it had an incredible amount of impact on an immense amount of people. So obviously heartbreaking to lose him. He gave us more than we could ask for in the time that he was here. But yeah, just incredibly heartbreaking. Of course, thinking of his family and friends and all that. But yeah, it was just very sad.
Yeah, I definitely echo all your thoughts. I think it's crazy. It's wild to see someone kind of just grab life the way he did, knowing what he knew and what he was going through, and kind of just like the example that he led, and then that legacy that will live on through him, just for so many, just like children and even adults like us. I think it's inspiring, and we lost a great one too soon.
The piece that resonated a lot with me was I don't know if it was like a commencement speech. I think it was a commencement.
The Howard University
at
one?
Howard, when he was speaking about like getting fired from the soap opera show or something for basically asking for consideration and nuance to the character that basically, like, he was talking about stereotyping, and he was talking about like how little was often afforded black actors and black characters, and it was tremendously powerful. I read the profile that the New York Times had done in 2018, which was really, really good, and they linked to in the Times obituary. It was when you watch the interviews and when you see him speak as himself, it's kind of unsurprising just how quickly he became like a go-to actor for important Black historical figures in America. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, you know, but like all the roles he played, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall,
James Brown.
James Brown, thank you. I was it's just like in just a matter of years, is really incredible. And I also read lastly the Ryan Coogler's words, which was reflecting on making Black Panther, and Ryan Coogler himself kind of in this position that's been kind of thrust upon him as a young and immediately important Black voice, you know, for much beyond what he maybe ever signed up for. But he talked about how much sort of confidence Chadwick had in like the global importance of what they were doing. I mean, the way he spoke and wrote about Chadwick Boseman, like being on set and the collaboration they had, it really seemed like, you know, like Chadwick was one of the ones who knew the impact the movie was going to have, maybe more than any of us did. And just like you guys said, when you think to be doing all of that in the face of just I can only imagine how scary it would be to get that diagnosis, and to be looking at, you know, in real terms at how much time you have left. My God, did he make the most of it? And I'm really grateful.
What was really striking to me about the Ryan Coogler piece and about the interviews I saw Chadwick Boseman give, especially from the time around Black Panther, and what was so inspiring is that he seemed to, while obviously having a great time with the character, because that, you know, those movies are fun and they're comic book movies, but he was approaching it seemingly with a very like as like a solemn duty. You know, like he took it so seriously, and I think that's you know, it's
almost
certainly one of the reasons that. What's that?
Almost academically. Sorry, I, like in his studiousness to like what was being depicted. Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt. But.
No, and it's just, and it's. I think that's why his performance stands out. I think it's why that movie in a world, you know, a world of countless comic book movies, that movie, it's certainly one of the reasons that it stands out. You know, aside from like the representation on display and all that, it's like just as a film, it is like being made by people who are considering it a solemn duty to make this movie and to make it the best movie that they can. So, it was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to hear. Yeah, big loss.
I think one of the things that has come out of this that has been said in other instances, in other cases, but you never know what people are battling on a daily basis. Yeah. And I think that reminder from this, and is not obviously the biggest takeaway from losing Chadwick Boseman, but it's something that is at least stuck in my mind and hopefully will continue to stick in my mind. It's just when you treat people and how you react to people. And I think there was a co-star of his on The Five Bloods who had said, you know, I kind of thought he was a bit precious. I thought, you know, he had all these people like fawning over him, all these people helping him. He was, you know, getting back massages on the set, and I was like, why is he like this? And then you didn't know, you don't know what's going on, and to we all make judgments, and I think we're all guilty of like fast judgments, and even at times, you know, on conversations we've had on this podcast, we react to certain things, and I think it's just a good reminder to think differently that way. And the one other thing I wanted to say is that rewatching Black Panther, there's a lot that's emotional about that and watching his performance, but I think the thing that got me the most was the very end when the young boy at in Oakland sees him and says, you know, is that ship yours? Is that something with you? And then the last bit of the movie is, who are you? And he just smiles and it cuts. That's where I just kind of broke down with tears at that point.
I think ABC did a really, really nice tribute to him. I'm sure they're streaming that online, so I'd recommend checking that out. I think it was a lot of people that were in works with him and things like that. I think they did a really, really honorable job of kind of commemorating his memory.
And you mentioned The Five Bloods. I mean, that movie is amazing, and it's, you know, there's so much going on in that movie because there's so many amazing powerhouse performances that, like, you know, when it first came out, it wasn't mentioned, but he is amazing in that movie, and that is an incredible movie. So go watch it.
I I think just moving on to our next topic, it seems connected in terms of powerhouse black actors and John Boyega and his comments that he made recently about his experience as a black actor within Star Wars. That profile in GQ is something that everybody should read. We talked about it before this podcast, but we feel like, we're four white guys who really can't add to the perspective other than say, go read his perspective. His perspective is so important, and what he has to say about his experience on the set of these movies, with the marketing of these movies, with the decisions that were made by Disney. It's illuminating and continues to show how far things still need to go in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and it's a great piece. He's a brilliant person, and I have massive respect. We were talking about how there are things that he said on the Rise of Skywalker press tour that at the time I was saying, and I was putting this on myself, at the time seemed like, why would he say that? That's not classy, or whatever. That now in the cultural context of the amount of activism he's taken part in, the amazing speech that he gave at the Black Lives Matter protest, it's just a movie. This dude is amazing, and he's putting potentially aspects of his, unfortunately that this should not be the case, but parts of his career on the line to say what he believes in and say things that need to be said. And if I urge everybody to read the piece, and if you're a huge Star Wars fan, what I really hope you could do is put the Star Wars thing aside to read this piece, because what he's talking about is so much bigger than how you feel about Star Wars, or his character in Star Wars or whatever. So please try to take the Star Wars hat off and put on the human hat when reading it, because it's
Ryan. I literally spent all of today wearing a Star Wars hat. So
really hard. He's got hat head. I see it. I see his hair.
Yeah, you could leave the literal Star Wars hat on, but it's easy as a fan to stick to the things that he's saying about the movies, but that's not the big thing of what he's saying.
No, yeah.
It's not. It is it is because it's a huge entity, but it's don't get stuck on plot points.
I think it's an important point to raise, that this affects everything in many levels. Even Star Wars is affected. Yes.
Yeah, it's not just how you feel about a movie. It's about what the movie means to people.
Yes.
I think it relates to what you said. We were just talking about that on the set of The Five Bloods, not knowing what a person's going through or something. I mean, I think we can kind of take this one on as the pod and say we were not looking at all of what was going on in this young man's life, during the production of this movie, during the promotion of this movie, against his other movies, against the world at large, what was promised, what was delivered, all of that factors into and then the fact that he's on a press tour. So when we were maybe critical of or dismissive of, comments he made about, previous installments, during the Rise of Skywalker press tour, and kind of, frustrated with him, as it seems so petty and so small now. So just like everybody said, it's a good long read. I don't know. It's like a 20-minute, 25-minute read in British GQ. It's the first thing that'll come up if you search his name. But really carve out some time. It's an amazing read, and it's an important read for so much more than movies.
Yeah. So. And going off what you said, I don't want to speak for the pod, but I can speak for myself, and you guys can say whatever you want for yourselves. It's that, and I should have known this already, but it helped me realize that the fact that I could look at The Rise of Skywalker as just a Star Wars movie that I was thinking of as a Star Wars movie is that's a privileged position to be in. As a white man, I could just look at it and be like, do I like the plot? Do I like the plot points? Do I not? Right. Blah blah blah. And I don't have to look at the bigger cultural context of it.
Right.
And that's a privileged position, and that was myopic of me.
Well,
Ryan, I second that for myself.
I think you speak for all of us.
I think you speak for the pod. Great. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you checking with us, Ryan. I'm glad that you at least.
I think that's good. That's good, Ryan.
Moments ago, I said I'll speak for the pod. So sorry, guys.
I wouldn't.
Well, when Ryan says that, it has a little more weight. So
But it kind of goes, weight level goes based on how long you've been on the pod, and Ryan was on it before
Ryan
you, Sam. So.
Are we bringing this up?
So sorry.
I'm the freshman
we're not
still.
going by actual weight.
Let's go. Well, then I'd have it, so we'd be all right. Anyhow, it's a good read. We all highly. I'm speaking for us again. We all highly recommend you read it, and please.
Well, and of course, let us know your thoughts on all of this. Even if you have thoughts on Chadwick Boseman as well, email us, droidspod@gmail.com, Twitter droidspod, Facebook the Droids Podcast, Instagram droidspod, and connect with us in all the different platforms. We'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts on everything going on. And the other news that came out at this time, I think there were some conversations here. We don't need to get into it. Is like, oh, Star Wars is releasing Mandalorian news to distract from John Boyega's comments, and maybe that was the case. Maybe it wasn't. Either way, Mandalorian, October 30th is when it will premiere. I think there were some rumors that are like, oh, no, there's production problems. They're delaying it. And then the day later that actually are like, nope, we're coming out on the 30th. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a teaser trailer. This was supposed to be the time Star Wars Celebration was happening, though it was didn't happen this past weekend. Imagine we'll get something in the next couple of weeks, but nice to know. I mean, this is next month. I mean, I know it's almost November when it comes out, but we're in September, and
feels
we're
pretty good to
dangerously
know that,
close.
It feels good to know that there's some new Star Wars content on the horizon. I think we've been a little starved of it, and I think,
especially
there's something nice too about the fact that it's like week to week.
Yes,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like 8 weeks of fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, also, it keeps this podcast from having to record one weekend of 10 hours of podcasts.
Exactly.
Wouldn't survive that.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
Nice Halloween surprise for everybody.
I like that. I hope
Who's going as Mando for Halloween, by the way?
Yeah.
Anybody in this group?
I think
I'm not going anywhere, and I'm locking my door.
I mean, think about it. Mando is the perfect costume for the virus.
Yeah, I know.
Times.
He never takes his mask off.
I will wear gloves and throw candy, not to children, at children outside my house.
to go away.
Yeah, get away from my door.
What's your stance on candy corn? I love it. A lot of people hate it.
I love it also, and I wish it was available all year.
I like it, but I do get sick of it after not a lot of it.
Oh,
Mike,
I get sick of it if I eat too much of it. I do. I get a tummy ache.
I got to make Dracula teeth out of the 2 corns.
You got it. That's the thing, is that you have so much candy corn because, like, the first handful I'm eating the tip first, the second handful I'm eating the butt first, and then it's like, then I'm doing Dracula teeth, I'm doing witch fingers.
Can anyone tell that we couldn't get any jokes in for our first 2 topics, so all the jokes are flying?
Yeah, we're backloaded now. You're just literally eating handfuls of sugar. That's why candy corn's awesome.
Yeah, it's like sugar and it tastes a little like butter, so it's probably sugar butter.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. I'm happy to see Mandalorian come back. They're filming it in that Disney vault. They're safe. They're protected. The volume.
Well, they finished production before.
They did.
Corona hit.
Well,
they finished it. So the interview with Kathleen Kennedy, where she said it was like 5 days before, which March 11th was when everything started to shut down. That was when they finished production on season 2. So
that's great.
They've been doing post for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think, is that kind of it on the horizon, though, as far as announced Star Wars properties? We have some video games, and we have some
High Republic
content. Is that going to also be unveiled, though, soon? Or
no, that's January is when High Republic comes out. I don't know that Chris listens to this podcast, guys. If he does, he doesn't.
Well, they delayed it. I know that.
Yeah, they delayed it from, I think it was supposed to be August. They delayed it to January. We can talk about that in a moment, but before we do, the Mandalorian new logo includes Baby Yoda this time around. It changes from orange to blue. And so Baby Yoda gets a little bit more presence there. Just when you're talking about it week to week, Ryan, reminded me, I can't believe that more streaming services haven't found that by doing something week to week, you can own the social conversation the way Baby Yoda did. Now, you have to have a character like Baby Yoda. But if it would have been one weekend binge of Mandalorian, you wouldn't have had the Baby Yoda phenomenon every single week with new clips of Baby Yoda. As opposed to that
one day that we were all talking about Hemlock Grove.
Hey, I really regret that tattoo.
Well, look, The Witcher kind of faded away because didn't it all come out at once as well?
Well, that was the example I was going to bring up that I remember at some point seeing, I wish... there was an article that was comparing the like, I don't know what you call it, like a buzzometer type thing.
The zeitgeist
of the zeitgeist impact of both, like, comparing Witcher and The Mandalorian. And I seem to recall the article suggesting that The Witcher actually had, like, a longer tail or, like, a bigger dent, which is not what I felt, but the problem, and I did watch, The Witcher is one of the few shows I actually did watch all the way through. I enjoyed it. I thought it was it was bomb.
It's fun.
But it didn't dominate. You know, we're Star Wars guys, so, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know if I have a biased opinion that it was like the Mando stuck with me, but also, I mean, guys, watch The Witcher. It's real fun.
I like The Witcher too, but it's like, what is there to talk about?
I didn't order a toy of The Witcher.
And also it's like, you're gonna be like, how about that wig?
Yeah.
But The Witcher is fun. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing,
but it doesn't have Baby Yoda in it.
No,
well,
it's
there's
not.
that.
I think that trends.
Like, I'm not buying a plushie of Dandelion the minstrel. You know, like,
I'd probably see
wait till season 2 when they have a real cute creature for Henry Cavill to, like, walk around with.
If you played the game, wait until you get the plushie godling. Where my Witcher head's at.
Everything should have a baby something.
This is the podcast of Rivia, Geralt cast.
Godcast. I think I see a Baby Yoda meme probably once a week. Like, just
that's the meme to me, is that, you know, you don't have, I don't know, Nancy, who works in accounting at your office, talking about The Witcher. Like, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Whereas Yoda,
Nancy in accounting won't shut up about The Witcher. And I'm like, I get it. The abs, Nancy.
Did I steal that from Colbert? Doesn't Don Oliver have a joke about somebody in accounting? I don't remember her name.
I don't remember.
Well, we'll be expecting a cease and desist from John Oliver.
Exactly.
This
pod tonight brought to you by John Oliver.
Well, let's move back to the High Republic. They're starting to let some tidbits out there, and I don't think we knew this before. We mentioned at the top of the show that Yoda is, we've seen some new imagery of Yoda. I didn't even realize that Yoda was going to be in the High Republic, but it makes sense. He's going to be 600 years old instead of 900 years old.
You mean 600 years young?
Yeah, 600 years young. And Chris, you dubbed him.
Yeah, he's hot Yoda. It's hot Yoda. He's ripped. You see him?
Not to be confused with the hot yoga.
Yoda.
Is this a thing
that's Bikram Yoda.
I think I coined this. I saw the picture and I immediately went, "That's hot Yoda." You have Baby Yoda. Now we got hot Yoda.
Well, I hope they don't mix the two.
Take a look.
Talking about
Google,
hot baby.
Just everyone go Google hot Yoda. Not hot yoga. That's terrible. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, everybody go to DeviantArt and type in hot Yoda.
No, they've released some concept art of Yoda, and he's a little more fit than we'd expect Yoda to look, but he's younger, so it makes sense. Did not expect to see him in the High Republic timeline, though, to be honest.
I was surprised, and I was like, I thought they were going to go totally off, book in terms of not having anything related to previous Star Wars characters, and yet here we are. There's
always been rumblings of a Yoda prequel movie, TV show, something with Yoda. I mean, I think he's a beloved character that...
Oh, you think so?
But I was going to say, like, he kind of crosses mediums. Like, everyone knows who Yoda... You might not know what a Star Wars is, but you know who Yoda is.
What is a Star Wars?
Like, he's one of those kind of characters. So I think introducing him into the High Republic, I personally like it. I think Yoda's a very mysterious character. I think there's a lot that you can kind of mine from him, but I hope we don't get too much of a good thing. Like, I want
to know how he got his name. How did he get that name?
Hey, you in line over there. You. Yo. Hey, duh. Yo.
Are you talking to me? You are? Duh.
Yo means solo.
Hot Yoda. Chris, way to go on that one.
I coined it. You heard it here first.
But you already had that name for all of the, like, after-hours Star Wars names you have.
Well, I mean, I was
Hot
calling...
Yoda, Count Dooku.
I was calling Yoda from Empire Strikes Back Hot Yoda the minute I saw him. So
Right.
yeah.
Count Dooku.
Count Dooku. That's that. Now we got my Halloween
Emperor
costume.
Palpatine.
Okay.
I am excited
All right.
about
Palpatine. Sheev.
Jeez.
Palpasheev.
I am
Prague.
excited to see like what they, you can. I hope they don't like make boring choices with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the easiest thing if you're bringing Yoda into this story is to like give a predictable like place Yoda would be 33% of the way to where we meet him. Do you know what I mean? And it's
like I hope he doesn't
chance
just
here.
show up. He shouldn't just show up and kick ass and then leave.
Yeah, I think there's actually like the potential to just like really, I mean, you can invent a character and you can because it's so long before the character we meet. Anything that happens in the story can gradually shape him. So like, don't take the easy choice of like, oh, he's exactly who you'd expect. And don't also take the choice of being like, look, he's the opposite of who we meet, and the whole journey is to get him there.
Let me ask the pod this: would it be interesting to see an overconfident Yoda, where he thinks he cannot fail?
So now you're describing hot shit Yoda.
Yeah, hot shit Yoda. Like, I feel like that's an interesting aspect of Yoda, because I think Yoda currently has a very high confidence level as we see him, where he's like, I know everything and I know what you're gonna do. I think it'd be interesting to see him confidence where kind of empty confidence.
Couldn't you say? And Ryan, correct? I mean, keep me honest on this. Yeah. The prequels is overconfident Yoda. They didn't think that they were going to have an issue.
Yeah,
or
that is
and
true.
But
right
like, under their noses.
Failed.
But
well,
that's kind of
reading Master and Apprentice.
Yeah.
Yoda's really in an interesting place.
Go on.
It's not very good.
Well, it's been done. I don't know. I think Yoda's we can add some dynamism to him that we haven't seen before.
Chris, weren't you the one saying you want to see some Yaddle time with Yoda?
No, that was me. That was me.
That was also part of their after hours.
I do like that.
That was
Yaddle.
When Yaddle had a price on her head from Jabba the Butt.
Yaddle will be a playable character in Star Wars Legos, which is shaping up to be pretty amazing.
Well, speaking
I'm sorry.
of games,
Wait, I'm sorry. Star Wars what?
Uh-oh.
Lego.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Case closed. I say Legos. Lego. What do you say? Lego.
It's case closed.
Do you say Lego Lost or Lego Low?
Oh man, Chris! Right before this podcast, we talked about it. And
yeah. You caught me.
It's too good.
You caught me. My country Lego tongue came out.
Well, sticking with
Guys,
the video games.
I wrote down some more examples of Chris's after hours
Oh,
Star Wars characters. Do you want to hear
Wait a
some?
second. Wait, how can you write down my after? Go on.
Do you want to hear some?
Yeah, I'd love
of course.
to.
Okay. Big Organa.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Boobzafet. And Salacious Bum.
Okay, all right, that's good.
That
one's really good, actually.
I'll tell you the other ones after. I can't say them on the show.
Yeah, if you want to know the other ones, write us.
I did put nine bums. So I like Salacious Bum more.
Yeah, Salacious Bums is good. We got to write
And
that script.
I already said Jabba the Butt, right?
Yeah.
You got
said
that
it several
one.
times now.
Well, keeping with video games, The Sims 4, which, I played The Sims maybe a good 20 years ago. Was that 20 years ago? It was a while ago.
Probably,
for 20 years, sure.
Well, I think that was when they launched their big moment, was early 2000s, when that game first hit. And I'm intrigued. They're going to be doing a version of Batuu where you can explore Batuu in The Sims 4 and have your character also redecorate their entire home in the style of Batuu and Galaxy's Edge. This is going to be the closest that a lot of us could get to Galaxy's Edge. And for someone who
Very true.
is every day pondering whether or not he made the biggest mistake of his entire life by not going to Galaxy's Edge in the first year, because he's now never going to go to Galaxy's Edge.
Mike, we'll go there and we'll stay at the hotel, I promise.
Please let that happen.
This is like not a joke.
Sorry, what's a hotel?
We had tickets bought for May.
We were ready to go in May. And
this is after a long time of Mike. I don't want to say begging, but it was begging.
It was begging.
For us to go. We finally said, fine, Mike, May. We had tickets bought.
Yeah.
Why do I have to beg these guys to go to a Star Wars land? I don't even understand.
More of a timing thing.
We had 2 reservations for Oga's Cantina.
Yeah.
It was all set. It was all happening.
We were all ready to go.
I said, guys, Tenet comes out that weekend.
Yeah. Ryan was very Tenet focused at that time.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I will not be playing this game because no spoilers for a real life park visit. For those of you though who want to experience it, this is gonna be great. Good for
you can
good
interact with the Kylo Ren comes up to you and stuff, or like a
and he speaks in the Sims language.
As Kylo Ren.
I think
you can make your sim like use the Millennium Falcon toilet like 50 times a day.
This is and then just trap him in the Millennium Falcon. I think this is like an
I make my sim put hand sanitizer on 50 times in an hour and then sit on a bench and hyperventilate?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's a new feature of the game. I think this is interesting. I'm starting to see the threads of when we grew up with Star Wars in the early 90s. Like, this seems like an interesting licensing choice for Star Wars at this time. Like, I think Disney might be, like, lessening the lasso right now and kind of being like, all right, if The Sims wants to make a Star Wars thing, let's see what it does. Like,
well, that's because they learned with the rise of Skywalker that the more you tighten your grip, the more systems will slip through your fingers.
Exactly. So
that was good. What's that from?
Tenet. That's from Tenet.
I think that was from the character Leia. I barely know her.
Nice. Oh, you guys! I can't say it on the show. You can't wait to hear my Grand Moff Tarkin one.
Oh boy!
Email us droidspot@gmail.com to hear Ryan's Grand Moff Tarkin one.
Yeah.
You know what? Send us yours.
Yeah, send us yours.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Send us your after-hours Star Wars character name.
My favorite of Chris's was Porkins.
Why are these all going on me? Why are these all going on me? I don't understand that. Porkins. That's very funny. Wow.
I mean, Biggs writes itself, right?
Yep.
Ryan, I can tell that you're just writing more and not.
Yeah, I can see. We're doing
conversation.
it with the cameras. We can see Ryan. He's got a list. He's got an equation.
Edge Antilles.
This one, all right. This is as risque as I'll get.
Yeah,
because it's kind of Han Solo vids.
Okay. Okay, that's good. These would play on late night.
This episode will never air.
Would this be a category on At Midnight?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Famous Creeps, Chris Hardwick's show.
Yeah. Hashtag Famous Creeps. No, I think it's an interesting time for Star Wars. I hope so. My dream would be that we get a Lego Star Wars parody movie in the next couple of years.
That would be great.
Wait, it's already happening. The holiday special. You guys talked about.
Well, no, that is happening. That is happening. We did talk about this. Yes, I remember the podcast, Mike. But I mean, like a theatrical.
Theatrical.
In quotes.
Chris wants to
quotes.
get back to the movies.
I just want to go to the movies and see it forwards and backwards, whatever that thing is. I mean, like in quotes, theatrical release, like a series of parody films for Star. Like I think. Let's have some fun with Star Wars now. Let's poke fun at the holes. Let's get a Tito special. Let's find the weirdness again. I think that's what we're really good at on this pod. Also, like let's find the weirdness of Star Wars. Let's kind of mellow in that for a while we can until we can make something more substantial. I think that's so. The Sims I think is a perfect start.
Do you think that they went to who's the maker of Sims? Who's the owner of
Will
EA.
Wright?
Is it EA?
EA, but
EA.
Will Wright started.
Will Wright started it.
Yeah.
Do you think they went to EA and said, "Look, it's March. We've got a pandemic. Make something for us by August or by September."
Probably.
Because I feel like with the park shutting down, they're like, we have to keep people interested in this park for whenever we reopen.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a tie in there because it's directly like related in a virtualized visit. Weren't they doing some kind of like virtual visits also?
Yeah, they did. They did like some sort of 360 virtual visit you could do.
I mean, you've got the right company for augmented and like virtual reality.
Well, if we want to talk, continuing on our joke track, this isn't exactly a Star Wars one, but I mean, The Long Way Up could very easily mean something else than it does as an Apple TV Plus series with Ewan McGregor.
We've talked about this. This is the third series in a long running motorcycle diary video vlog from Ewan McGregor and his good buddy and equally famous actor Charlie Boorman. As initially it was The Long Way Round, then it was The Long Way Down, and these are just like long backpacking motorcycle rides. This one, interestingly, is going to be electric bikes, which is pretty cool and new. They're doing something nice for the environment. But these were, I mean, Chris, I don't know how we discovered these. And I mean, look, we were not the two people to discover them. They were made, they were aired, they were broadcast. But like, I remember it felt like the days of like when you used to get like handed a VHS and like, there, you know, this is nobody, you can't get this movie, you know?
There was a level of excitement when we discovered that A, he did this, and B, we could watch it. I remember seeing the first two series and we were just like, what is this? First off, that's Ewan McGregor. He's in Star Wars. He's just taking a motorcycle trip. Like, I love travel shows.
There's like 3 episodes where they're trying to decide whether to take the Ducatis or the BMWs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a very good travel show also.
Their friendship is great to witness. Yeah. They're clearly like just good friends, good mates, as they probably would say.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a rip roaring good time, and there's a trailer.
Yeah,
there's an episode also. This is post 9/11, like right after 9/11, where they're trying to get on a flight, and Charlie makes a joke about having a bomb, and he can't get on the flight.
That's true.
That happens. It's them in the airport being like, "So Charlie's not with us. He got turned away at security." He'll be here tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm very excited. I couldn't be happier they're doing it.
Boobs Fortuna.
Oh, okay, there it is. There it is. That's good. I'm surprised it's not on Disney Plus.
That is what surprised me as well.
It's on Apple TV Plus, right?
You feel like that's something that should be Ewan is owned by Disney?
Well, not only that, they also have the National Geographic content.
It feels like a really good marriage
of like Bravo, right?
Of like the brands they have. It feels though like their connection, like he is connected to Disney, and it seems like a no-brainer to be like, Ewan likes doing these long bike trips. At some point, someone was shopping this around, you know, and it's like, hey, what if this was for our Nat Geo traffic, also leading people to Star Wars? Also, the check we cut him pays for this, you know,
exactly,
and his bikes and his houses and stuff. So like, this is fun and funny, and it all, you know, but hey, it's going to be great where it is. I'm going to watch it.
I brought this up in the text thread, but I gotta say, I just really think Apple TV Plus is crushing it. I think they're doing some great stuff. I think Central Park was really good. Mythic Quest is great. Yeah. I really enjoy. I mean, episode 5 of Mythic Quest is maybe one of the best things I've watched in the past year.
Yeah, sure.
I like the morning show a lot. For All Mankind is a great show. I mean, you see what they're doing a long way up, and Ted Lasso is really killing it every week and making me happy and finding us some optimism. It is really a pleasant surprise how good Apple TV stuff has been.
Greyhound
I think they've gotten
was a movie.
Greyhound was a movie.
The Beastie Boys documentary was great.
Boys State. Boys State
was
also
was
really
also
I've heard it's good. I haven't watched it.
Very good documentary. Yeah, they're crushing it.
But for a lot of,
if you want to see an actor decide like, I'm ignoring my assignment and I'm doing what I want, watch Billy Crudup on the morning show.
And he's great. It's so much fun.
I
love him.
It's just like someone being like, I don't care what show I'm in. I'm doing my thing.
And I love that.
Yeah.
He's full
loved
credit.
everything he did in that.
Yeah.
But, Apple TV got a lot of crap for launching the way they did, and they're doing some good stuff.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, long way up. Check it out. That's pretty much going to do it for this edition of the Droids. I mean, I feel like we covered a lot, and, sometime in the next few weeks, we'll be talking new Mando trailer, new images of Mando, something to get excited about there, and then obviously all the new characters that are supposed to be part of Mando this year. Are we going to actually see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka?
That'd be wild. I didn't even think of that.
I'd love it.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was supposedly the rumor that she's in season 2, and at the time, everyone's like, oh, great, season 2, when they shoot that in a few months. It's like, no, that rumor was based on she shot something already for season 2.
I'm very curious to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be rad.
I think it's going to be rad.
I'm all in.
Too. Because I think that we're at this point, like, if they were doing this where they were like, Ahsoka, in the 90s, if they were like, Ahsoka's going to be in a movie, you could count on it being like this, like, weird version of Ahsoka. It's like, trying to think of, like,
Yeah.
Remember in the Street Fighter movie where you were like waiting to see Blanca?
Street Fighter.
Did you just say
Do you remember Street Fighter?
Did you write the word Street Fighter down? Just apropos to nothing.
Remember in the Moof Milfer movie? No, so
Moof Milker could just be one of the old, like, that could just be on its own. That's already one of those phrases. Moof
I
Milker
like that, Ryan. That was good.
so yeah, remember Blanca in the Street Fighter movie where you were like, that's not you. Like the whole movie, you're waiting to see what he's going to look like.
Yeah,
and you're like, that's
not him. Yeah,
but now I trust that they'll do it right.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a classic Blanca movie.
Yeah, I know.
Thing.
By the way,
Wow, that's a deep pull. That was great.
We've now all got like 7 weeks to watch the rest of Clone Wars to be up to date.
Mike, shut up.
All I have to do is watch 200 episodes a day, and I'll be caught up by the time Mando airs. There's so many Clone Wars. How did they make them all?
It's incredible.
That'll do it for the Street Fighter podcast.
Good night to all the Moof Milfers out
This
there.
is Pod W.S. Anderson.
When you want to fart in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
Guys, it's great to be back, and I think having the four of us here, I think is a monumental step in getting this pod back on track. We say it every week. Mike's here.
Yeah, I'd say this is definitely an on-track episode.
Yeah, Mike's here. Listen to how much more on track we are here. So I just want the audience to listen and know Mike is here, and this is how on track we are. So thank you.
I don't sleep. There's no excuse. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of The Droid. Thanks for staying with us. We can't wait to have you back here for another edition of The Droid you're looking for, the Star Wars Podcast.
The dog's name was Indiana. Annie?
The dog's name was Annie.
All right,
go ahead, Ryan.
So this won't be for the pod.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop recording.